Let's Plays have always been a large part of the YouTube ecosystem, almost since YouTube's inception. People like to watch other people play games, it's as simple as that. But clearly the popularity of Let's Plays has slowly slowed down, and I think we all know why. Streaming, right? Well, yeah and no. So let's go over the quick history first, then we'll go over what separates the better from the worst Let's Plays, and finally, let's go over some of my favorite examples, both of the good and of the bad. So we really don't know when the first Let's Play was, or what it was. Chances are someone recorded themselves with a VHS tape, you know, playing a game in the 80s or 90s, maybe with a voiceover, we don't know. But it's generally agreed upon the first Let's Play online was a screenshot playthrough of the Oregon Trail. But the first proper video Let's Play agreed upon is Slowbeef's 2007 Let's Play of Immortal, even though it was uploaded to YouTube in 2011. The microphone quality is actually better than what most people seem to use today, at least online. I mean, listen to this.
You get slower, and the guy gets a hit in.
Anyways, since 2007, Let's Plays have evolved, but stayed relatively true to their core. By 2009, Let's Plays were getting quite popular. But by 2010, a little-known gem called Minecraft became popular. Minecraft, because of its nature, requiring a large amount of creativity to build and such, really attracted the Let's Play crowds as, if you're creative enough, people will watch you. Many YouTubers still very successful today started their careers off by playing Minecraft. So, by around 2014, Let's Plays were becoming very common and very popular. Even more popular after games such as Five Nights at Freddy's started to release. But three things will soon kick Let's Plays off of their watch time throne. You see, the first thing is streaming, of course. I mean, it became very popular after Justin TV turned into Twitch TV. I mean, streaming is far easier than recording and editing Let's Plays, and it lets the streamer interact with their audience, so many people prefer it. And hey, you can upload the VODs to YouTube anyways. The second thing is kids content. You see, there were times when most Let's Players tried to be family friendly, even before the Adpocalypse or similar events. This is because a lot of young people back then watched Let's Plays like me, and probably you. As proper kids content started to take off, as horrid as it is, it provided way more brain stimulation to the young children, so they stopped watching things like Let's Plays. The third thing is us. People simply grew out of it. I don't really watch that many Let's Plays anymore, and it makes sense why people don't do it. The channels that once brought in tons of views of Let's Plays are way past their prime, but sometimes still pull in really solid numbers. Some do it because they like it, and others just hold on until it's just not profitable anymore. Let's Plays have seen kind of a resurgence recently. I mean, it's what I do, and what I do most of the time, because I like it. It's what I grew up with and what I remember. I enjoyed it back in the day, and it drives me to do this sort of stuff. Similarly, I remember watching a lot of, PS3 versus Xbox 360, Nintendo 64 versus PS1 sort of videos, and that also influenced the type of content we make. A lot of people who used to just do Let's Plays now do live streams and upload those VODs on YouTube. However, Let's Plays as a format will never be dead. So, what makes a good Let's Play? Here's my logic, at least. Well, let's go with the easy parts first, the mechanical part. I personally don't think webcams add much. They obscure the screen, make it sometimes difficult to actually see the HUD if the game uses the entire screen, and it is really up to you. I personally don't think it adds that much, so I don't use it, but you could argue it adds more personality. It's up to you. Video quality is interesting, and most of the time, it should just be good enough. What you really just need to make sure is to make sure the actual stutter in the video is minimal. Like, if you're playing a game at 40 to 50 FPS, at least from my experience, it's much better to just lock the recording at 30, so it's less jarring to the viewer as the frame rate is consistent. You may not notice it when you're playing, but people will when they're watching. This is way more important than making sure the video itself is lossless. Audio is much more important than video. I mean, here's an example of a relatively okay quality video and decent quality audio. And here's the example of a really crisp video, but with terrible audio. Which one is more listenable to? Anyways, thanks to OBS, we have many abilities, such as the ability to put our microphone track onto a separate channel from our game audio, meaning we can adjust one without affecting the other. Also, you can use tons of filters to make your voice sound better. You can use a V-curve to make your voice sound warmer, you can use noise isolation so you can make sure that noises and background noise don't creep in, and you could use compression to make sure if you're too loud, you're not really too loud. Of course, it can have some negative side effects, but playing around until you find something that really works is the goal. Anyways, if you're not actually recording on a PC, tough shit, you should have a PC. Really, what you should do is, if you have a crap top of any kind, still plug your microphone into it and use it to record audio while recording your game on the device you're planning to actually play on. And just remember to sync up the microphone and the video. And I usually do something like this, just really quick and dirty syncing it up. And if you want a really minimalist setup with nearly no effort, I mean, I've just used a phone and started a voice recording on this clip before starting the video, and here's how it looks. Jump, forward, left. Anyways, for video editing, it's really up to you. I use Kdenlive, or, well, if you want to use a phone, from the little I've experimented, CapCut seems okay, but there's not many good options. I personally put a little intro and outro because it just feels right, at least most of the time. Just don't make it 2 minutes long like the game, dude. Please. Anyways, if you're recording in batches, like I do, like, let's say you spend 3 hours recording 5 30-minute videos because you're not recording the entire period, you're gonna want to have a little notebook, Word document, Excel spreadsheet, really anything you're comfortable with, just to write down a TLDR what you did after each recording. It makes editing and later publishing just easier. How you chop up the video really depends on your preference. I try to show as much of a level during my first run through as I can, but if I die, I just remove the part. Like, let's say you're playing through a level, you have to backtrack, you cut out the backtracking if it's significant. Similarly, you know, if you die a bunch of times, you cut out those deaths, maybe showing the first death, and then cutting to you being at that same section again later. So, this was the easy part, you know, video, audio, editing. The hard part is you. You see, you need to act as yourself, and that yourself needs to be attractive to the audience. This is extremely difficult, as the audience you attract will be different, but here are some general guidelines that should always work. You need to talk often enough, but not too often. You need to have commentary that also, while reacting to what's happening on screen, also fills dead air when not much is going on by talking about, well, really whatever, as long as it's appropriate or related. It's complex and hard to do well. I'm not good at it either, don't worry. At the end of this video, I'll show some short segments of some of the Let's Play tests I did. One on a phone, one on an old machine, one on an old e-waste machine, and one on an even worse e-waste machine. I'll list the specs next to the video for your viewing pleasure. But first, my personal favorites. Not all of these are good, but the first few are. I mean, there's definitely a ton of people like the Yogscast and Markiplier, but there's some people talk about a little less, so let's go over those ones. Zach Scott is definitely the first guy who I think of. Dude's almost 50 now and still plays the same game I remember him playing as a child. Definitely one of my favorite Let's Players from back then. He's the reason why I thought Sticker Style was good. Anyways, Ether's Lab, you know, really well-known channel. It's very Minecraft-focused and really hasn't changed one bit after 13 years. No clickbait, just good Minecraft content if you're into this stuff. And people are. Unlike most people who seemingly lost their relevance, Etho knows what he's doing, and he's doing it extremely well. Now, I didn't want to know if I wanted to include Sugar Conway due to the situation, let's call it, and I don't want to get into it, but it's not looking good. Anyways, apparently he's getting treatment for it, and I don't know enough to comment on it, but I can comment on the fact that his older content was something I really did used to watch. He's actually the reason why I know of Luigi's Mansion, with my own Let's Play of that game actually being kinda stout after what I remember him doing. It's actually also one of the first proper series that I recorded, although I ended up changing the thumbnails on a lot of these older videos and what happens in them, just because I wanted them to fit the modern channel way more. Okay, there actually was a much shitter era of Let's Plays, but we don't talk about them. They don't exist. I'm gonna do a retrospective on all the old shit that's unlisted one day. Oh, it's gonna be like the Alternate History Hub video, but so much worse. Anyways, going down the much more interesting, bad side of YouTube, we have Dark Side Phil. I'm just gonna link a video of Hbomb Guy and Shaun reacting to a 30-minute video of him failing to make a cup noodle. The guy started off filming his screen with a camcorder before moving on to directly capture footage quite a bit later than everyone else, and, well, he's not very popular, but he is much more well known for accidentally live streaming himself. I think saying "crankin' they hog" just out of frame gets past YouTube's detection. For another example, Eva Zephan is the guy who turned into Yandere Dead. I think enough has been said on this particular specimen. But as you can see, many people try to do Let's Plays. Some failed, some succeeded, and some failed and ended up doing something much worse. A channel that's very interesting in a more positive light is App Unwrapper. This channel has made a ton of Let's Plays on a lot of mostly puzzle-ish games on iOS and Android. It was pretty popular around a decade ago, but I found them because they have nearly 1,500 videos on Genshin Impact, all of them being like an hour long and unedited, so that's interesting. Anyways, a promise is a promise. Here you go. I'm gonna show you the segments of the Let's Plays. Hi there, yeah, this is being recorded on a phone, and I'll also try to edit it on a phone. Although, like, I mean composite it, just for fun, right? Yeah, so surprise, I'm back. I forgot to export some, yeah, whatever. Yeah, welcome to my, like, 10 seconds video. Wowee, isn't this so much better? This would be way better with a controller. Get a Razer Kishi if you're doing this. I highly recommend it. Or something similar. Yeah, it's always like this. I would just... this guy's gonna kill her. Well, not if I have anything to say about it. Come on. There we go. Sheep respawn, so there's no harm in just killing them all. So it's time to hunt for Bigfoot, I guess. It could be anywhere. Even in my balls. And like, the moment that the YouTube game started to get serious, like around 2010, like we saw Intel and AMD and then Nvidia shove like video encoding chips into their CPU. Oh, like, you know. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed those. As you can see, you can do at least something even with really not a lot of hardware. And with that, I'll see you next time. I'll try to do a sort of retrospective thing on what I've done on the channel, but we'll see when I get to that. Until then, see you next time. Goodbye.